Good evening, and I'm waiting on Clerk Pippen to say it's time to go. All right. Welcome to the Ferguson City Council meeting for March the 11th. Let us stand for our opening ceremony. Meeting is now called to order. Pledge allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All righty. Clerk Pittman, could you please call the roll?
Councilwoman Noah,
Here.
Councilman Palmer,
Here.
Councilman Cassoff,
Yep.
Councilwoman Robinette,
Here.
Councilman Lipka, is absent. Councilman Williams,
Here.
Mayor Jones.
Here, a quorum is present. We move to our public comments. We ask that you state your name, be mindful of the clock that's before you. You have 3 minutes. You can finish your statement. If you go into a new paragraph, I will hit the gavel, call you to order. And if you persist, then one of the officers is going to escort you out. Clerk Pittman, who is our first person for public comments.
First, we have Mildred Klein.
Good evening,
Good evening.
Mildred Kleins, 7444 Castro. I want my message to the city council to be loud and clear. I want my message to the Ferguson community and its residents to be loud and clear. I've said many times that Ward 3, the southernmost part of Ferguson, has been underrepresented on the city council for the last 3 years. Everyone on the current council, every one of the current council members have been complicit to the fact that Mr. Palmer doesn't live in Ward 3. You have done nothing to hold him accountable. You should have asked him to step down, or you could have removed him, because the rule says you have to live in the ward you were elected to represent on the council. I brought this issue up when Mr. Palmer took the Ward 3 seat. It's common knowledge that Mr. Palmer lives in Ward 1 and always have. Yet members of the council were okay with allowing this rule to be violated. I believe if most residents of Ferguson knew that the seat that Mr. Palmer sits in was obtained fraudulently, they would have called for his removal. Why should we follow rules when our own city council doesn't? To lie and cheat only to attain power by any means necessary is still a bad look for Ferguson. We need to make every effort to remove bad apples and the cancer from Ferguson politics. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Kleins.
Erica Brooks.
Hello, I want to just kind of reiterate the fact of not following rules in this community. I was at the crowd event that happened the other night. And I was listening to Michael Palmer talk about how he's been going to the staff members, telling them how they should run certain ways of doing things in order to improve housing around here as far as, different business transactions that should be happening. And I think that's what Nick Kassoff had me sign that recall petition for Tony Burrow. So I'm not understanding, why is it okay for Nick Palmer to interact and tell the staff what they should be doing and how they should be running, was his city manager, why he should be able to come to the staff members of Ferguson. And, everybody sees it's a nice, bright idea for him to be able, since he's in business and he knows how to run things, for him to be able to have access to the staff to tell them how to run things, to improve the community with housing, which he's a realtor, and he can benefit from that fact, being able to manipulate the rules or suggest certain things to the staff. But that's why Nick got rid of Tony Burrow. So I'm not understanding how it's okay for him, being that he's, the big time realtor here in Ferguson, to have access to the people that can manipulate or change things for his benefit, for his companies or his employees or whoever be able to have employment. I know Nick gonna be saying, I'm beating up on, Mr. Palmer. But when you stop and think about that, you had me to sign that recall list for that purpose, because you said that she shouldn't have access to tell them how to run the staff. And so that's one thing that I was not understanding at that meeting, how it was okay for him to brag about that, about the demolitions and whatever else, recommendations for demolitions and all the other stuff. I mean, I know as a council, it would be a nice thing to hear from everybody sitting up there that's worked together and that, come together as a city and do what he was talking about he was doing in order to increase his votes to get his seats. But that's one thing. Another thing I want to talk about is the disaster and emergency management plan, which I talked about in 20, as far as having access to that, as far as the citizens, not just firemen, not just police or whatever else. I had asked to have access to that so that citizens be able to know how to save themselves in times of disaster and emergency management. So I'm trying to see when are you going to put that on the website so that we can clearly understand where that sits at, because I know you had improved it for the 22 or whenever it came back out. But I would appreciate it if you put that online so that we can see it. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Brooks. Do we have anyone online?
We do. Henry, I went up.
Yes. Good evening. Thank you, members of the City Council, the mayor, and the citizens. My comment has to do with the litigation. I know this is a litigation matter, and you cannot, and also a personnel matter, you cannot discuss that. But it's a sorrowful day if the allegation is correct that one of our former employees took her life because she was working in a hostile environment. I don't know how she was fired. If everything was taken into consideration, council should know. The city manager should also understand that if they investigated and found out that she wasn't stealing money, she shouldn't have been fired. And if she was fired, somebody should have fired the person that fired him and brought him back. So I think the city and the city attorney should take a look and see what is happening there. Because if this is one of the reasons why I'm running for office, because I came over there and I saw that the elected officials were more interested in doing something that has nothing to do with they're elected to do. So other than personal attack, which is the same thing this woman committed suicide from, bullying. We shouldn't be bullying other people because we have power. Power is given to you by the citizens. And if you're a public servant, you're a public servant. It is not your job. And public service is not like business. People always say, we want a businessman to do this, to do that. Government has the right to kill people. Business can't kill people. Business works to make profit. Government is not designed to make profit. Two different things. But people get confused and get those two things confused. So I'm really crying for this family. If this is true, that what the woman is alleging is true, we need to do some soul searching and clean house and make sure that those things don't. When I mean clean house, I don't mean we're firing people, but we need to train people to get them to understand that you can't do this to people, other human beings, because you have power. If you have hate in your heart, keep it in your house. Don't bring it to, because the taxpayer is going to have to come up. Ferguson's got to come up and pay if we are found to be guilty of this allegation. So my prayer and my action of this city council is to really investigate what happened and give us a result at some point after the litigation, after the case is settled. Tell us what is going on, what happened to this young lady. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else, city clerk?
Yes, Jerry No.
Thank you. My name's Jerry Knoll. I live at 1237 Deer Ridge Drive. And this last Thursday, March 6th, the first of 3 candidate forums was held. These forums are sponsored by Proud and the Ferguson Library. And I wanted to give a recap on it. First, all of the candidates, all 6 candidates were in attendance. And on behalf of Proud and the Ferguson Library, we really appreciate that. And thank you for your willingness to come and hear questions from the public and respond to them, and let the public get to know you a little bit better, and hear your responses and your viewpoints on the different questions. I also want to thank, I believe all the city council, current city council members were in attendance either in person or on Zoom, and many representatives of the city administration were also in attendance either in person or on Zoom. And also a big thank you to the Ferguson Public Library, which supplied the room for the meeting and access to top of the line audio visual equipment and all the technical help needed to try to pull that off. We had a few glitches, but I think we worked through them okay. There were at least 99 people in attendance, 60 plus in person and more than 30 online. And you know how Zoom is, there could have been 2 or 3 people watching on one Zoom session in the same on the same screen. So we might have had more than 99, but there was at least 99 in attendance. The subject was, how can we best market Ferguson as a good place to live? So the candidates took questions. There were good questions. There was good discussion. Each candidate had the opportunity to introduce themselves and give their points of view. And video of the forum is now posted on Proud's website, and also some pictures. And you can, if you go to proud-ferguson.org, not com.org, and go to the upcoming events link, you'll find the video of the forum there, and also information about the other 2 upcoming forums. So next Thursday, I'm sorry, not next Thursday, but on Thursday, March 20th, from 6 to 8 p.m. at the library, and also on Zoom will be the next forum. The topic is our style of community policing effective? There's also a Zoom link on the Proud website. You can come in by Zoom. Dr. Christy Griffin is going to be we'll introduce the topic. She'll speak for maybe 10 minutes about community policing, what it is and what it's like and what it should look like. And then the candidates will take questions from the public.
Mr. Knowles?
Yes.
Jerry, your time is up. Your 3 minutes.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I didn't know that. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else, city clerk?
I had one of the individual to say that they were interested, but they keep getting disconnected, so I don't think that they're on now. But I just wanted to say that in case they did come back, but I don't think they're on now.
Okay.
I don't have anyone.
Okay, public comments is closed at this time. Before we move to the manager's report, city manager, there were some statements made, and I know you and your staff will address them. Okay, now we move to our city manager's report. City Manager Hampton, do you have a report?
I do not. Like,
Okay, thus in the manager report, we don't have any special presentations, public hearings, so we move to the consent agenda.
Mayor Jones. That's me.
Yeah,
Sorry to interrupt, but you mentioned the consent agenda. I wanted to make a motion. I wanted to get your attention.
you could do that when we get to it,
Okay,
or you could do it now.
I would like to do it now. ma'am.
Okay, make your motion, please.
Thank you. I'd like to move to remove Bill 7306 from the agenda.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it. Bill 7306 has been removed from the agenda. Thank you, Councilwoman. Okay, now we on the consent agenda. City Council meeting minutes, the regular meeting minutes for February the 25th and special meeting minutes for February the 25th. I request a motion in a second to approve meeting minutes.
So moved.
Second.
Linda Lipka.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it. We move to board and commission meeting minutes, CRB minutes from February the 3rd. Request a motion in a second to receive and file the commission meeting minutes.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second, Linda Lipka.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it. We move to appointments, and I would just like to share this. Had an opportunity to talk to Tony, who is the Director of Revenue for St. Louis County. As you know, we had a bad snowstorm, and they were not able to process all of the taxes by December the 31st. I talked with Tony today at a meeting, and this is concerning boards and commission. If you billed your taxes before December the 31st, those taxes have been processed as of today, and it goes to the postmark of your envelope and your check. Now, part two of this is we have a bill, which is Bill 7229, that gives people on the boards and commission an opportunity to have these taxes paid by February the 28th. If you did not pay your taxes by February the 28th, and you paid your taxes on March the 2nd, the bill say February the 28th. If you paid your taxes on March 2nd, you will not be appointed to the board of the commissions. On last year, we had two people paid their taxes on March the 1st, and we didn't give any exception. So therefore, our city clerk has been instructed to go back to the website for the taxes and see if anyone was in that point of December 31st. And if you paid in January, you still have the penalty from St. Louis County. But Ferguson says, according to the bill, you got February the 28th to pay your taxes. If you missed that February the 28th time and you hit March the 1st, you will not be appointed to the boards and the commission. So city clerk has the time to go back and look at everything. Is there anything else? Okay,
Mayor,
yes.
may I make a question here? I know we turned in an application that according to you was fine with taxes and everything for the traffic commission. Is there a reason why it's not on tonight's agenda?
No, so I didn't put any of them on tonight's agenda. I sent you guys a list of those that I had processed and I put them in the box and, forward to you guys the link, but I didn't put any of them on the agenda.
So is there a way that we could bring that up tonight and possibly go ahead with his nomination, appointment, I should say, because it's Craig Short, Sure.
Short, I believe.
Yeah.
That's up to the council. The appointments are up to the council.
So Mayor, Mr. Short has submitted his application and he did pass all of the requirements regarding payment. So I would like to make a motion that we go ahead and accept his nomination and approve him for the Traffic Commission tonight.
Is there a second?
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it.
Mayor, I have, excuse me, there's two for FSBD two, Anya Smith and Rose Bird. Their taxes have been paid, they're current. They were also included on that email. So can we go ahead and approve those as well?
Make a motion.
I'd like to make a motion to approve Anya Smith and Rose Bird to the Ferguson Special Business District.
Second, Linda Lepka.
All in favor?
Aye.
Clerk Pittman, would you go to the master sheet where these people have been appointed to these boards and commission and put them in an unexpired term? Okay, thank you. Do we have any requests tonight? None. We move to the proclamation. We have a proclamation tonight honoring Women's History Month. Whereas Women's History Month began in 1978 as a local celebration of Women's History Week in Santa Rosa, California. President Jimmy Carter issued the first presidential proclamation declaring March 2nd through the 8th, 1980, National Women History Week. And in 1987, Congress changed the week into a month. And whereas March is designated as a time to honor the remarkable contributions of American women from every race, class, and ethnic background, these extraordinary individuals have played pivotal roles in shaping the growth and strength of our nation, as well as enriching our economic culture and social landscape. Their legacy inspires us to reflect on the past while motivating us to pursue a more equitable future. And whereas the theme of Women's History Month 2025 is moving forward together, women educating and inspiring generations, this celebrates the collective strength and profound influence of women who have devoted their lives to education, mentorship, and leadership. Their unwavering commitment has shaped the lives of individuals and generations, both past and present, to dream bigger and strive for greatness, illuminating the path for future leaders. And whereas from classrooms to boardrooms and from grassroots movement to global initiative, women educators and leaders have been instrumental in nurturing minds and sparkling transformative action. Their invaluable contribution have shaped educational landscape and have also inspired significant social change. Providing the empowered women can ignite powerful movements that resonate across communities and cultures. Now, therefore, I, Ella Jones, Mayor of the City of Ferguson, along with the Ferguson City Council, do hereby proclaim March 2025 as Women's History Month in the city of Ferguson, Missouri, and encourage everyone to observe March as Women's History Month by participating in the appropriate programs, ceremonies, and activities. Congratulations to all the women of Ferguson for Women's History Month. Give yourselves a great big hand. At this time, we don't have any resolutions, so we move to unfinished business. Do we have any unfinished business?
Yes, Mayor. The unfinished,
Councilwoman Orr.
thank you. The unfinished business is, has the Traffic Commission had an opportunity to meet to approve or deny recommendation for the 5 stop sign requests. 2 at Rockingham and Falmouth, which would be converted into a 4-way stop. 1 at Emerald and Rouse, 1 at Dupree and Blanding, and 1 at Harrison and Randolph.
We have not, because we have not had a quorum and we've also had weather.
Thank you. Any other unfinished business? Hear none, we move to new business. Do we have any new business? Hear none, we move to miscellaneous. Councilman David, would you start us off tonight?
Oh,
Councilman David Williams.
so when we're in the community center, I was asking for the ping pong table so I can play with my neighbor. He's a senior citizen, he's 72. And so the community center, they did finally furnish that ping pong table. And we played, and I did beat his butt.
Okay.
But about a week ago, he passed away.
What?
And his wife told me yesterday, and it just made me realize how precious life is. You know, somebody's here one day and they're gone tomorrow. But I just want to thank Parks and Recs for getting that ping pong table, because we finally did get to play. And just the political climate, you know, election time stuff heats up. And I just want people just to remember, be kind to one another, because tomorrow's not promised.
Thank you. Very heartfelt. Thank you, Councilman Williams. Councilman Cassoff.
Yeah, I did want to address one thing that came up in a couple of the public comments. Miss Brooks is correct. I absolutely did take a strong position against interfering with staff and always will. The city manager will bear witness to the fact that I don't even come near that line. If there's something that has to be done with staff, I strictly deal through either the city manager or his assistant city manager. Which frankly, back when I was before I was elected, I could send a message to the parks director and complain about the parks. I don't do that anymore, and I would not tolerate that from one of my colleagues either. So I appreciate you calling that out, and I'm with you 100% on that. I also would like to point out that one of the other public comments suggested that council ought to be poking our nose into the situation of what happened in our finance department. And I want to say again, that is a staff matter. That's going to be dealt with by the city manager, by our legal counsel, and perhaps by our human resources department. But council members do not get into staff issues, period. So, you know, that's something that you ought to look at and look for out of any elected official, any candidate. We have lines, we don't cross them, period. And I can only speak for myself, but I know I've talked about this with some of my colleagues, and we're all very clear. We do not direct staff. We go to the city manager, period. So again, Ms. Brooks, thank you for bringing that up.
Thank you, Councilman Cassoff. Councilwoman Lipka.
Well, first of all, I would like to apologize for arriving late. And I'm kind of touching on what David said. I'm kind of living that moment right now and want to thank the community for your support. My mother is officially in hospice. She lives with me. And my priorities for the last 3 weeks is to keep her comfortable and to give her a quality of life that I'm trying to maintain for her. So those moments are really precious. And we think we have time. I read something last night that said the cemetery is full of people who thought they had another day. And, I just want to apologize for arriving late because I don't believe my husband and I are tag teaming, so he got home from work late. And I just want to thank everybody and, you know, again, I want to reiterate what Councilman Williams said, this, you know, Heather and I and Ella, we've been through many, many elections. And this, I just wish people would be kind to each other. I mean, I know there's gonna be a lot of thought processes and comments going on in people's heads as I say that, because I could have been kinder and many times as well. But I'm telling you right now, this isn't worth it. Life is too short. The people that matter to you matter. Even when we disagree, people matter. Mrs. Kleins and I don't agree, but she matters to me because I love her boys. And, you know, you don't have to agree with everyone, but you do have to cherish one another because when it comes down to brass tacks, that's all you got. So happy March, happy St. Patrick's Day. Thank you, Mayor, for letting me speak. And that's all I have. Thank you all.
Thank you, Councilwoman Lipka. Councilwoman Laquita Noor.
Thank you, Mayor Jones. The North Hills Neighborhood Meeting will be this Saturday Zoom. If anyone wants to Zoom in, I will be on the line at 10 o'clock. The information for the Zoom is at fergusoncity.com on the calendar. The next NASB meeting is Wednesday, March 26th at 6 p.m. at the Ferguson Empowerment Center. Employee Appreciation Day was Friday, March 7th, 2025. I just would like to say thank you to all of the Ferguson staff. We do appreciate you all and your work and your efforts. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I continue to encourage ongoing relationships with community partners, stakeholders, residents, business owners, and utility companies and contractors. It's important that any work or maintenance done in Ferguson is completed in a responsible and timely manner. When cables, cords, and wires are left hanging and dangling from a utility pole after install or repair, residents are left at a risk to potential harm. Next, the Ferguson Human Rights Commission, in collaboration with PROUD, will host a community meal this Sunday, March 16th, 2025, from 4 until 6 p.m. at St. Stephen's Church and the Vine, located at 33 North Clay. We invite you all. We're going to have food donated by Ferguson Special Business District Eateries, and Angela Lawson from Community Mediation Services of St. Louis will attend to educate the community on the benefits of utilizing mediation services for conflict resolution. Thank you all. Be safe and well. Thank you, Mayor Jones.
Thank you, Councilwoman Noor. Councilman Palmer?
Yes, I generally don't have much to say, but I will address an allegation made about me in the public comment. When I mentioned that I talk with staff, that is always the city manager or the assistant city manager, and rarely is it directly with the assistant city manager prior to talking to the city manager first. So generally how that would be is I would send a message or call the city manager Hampton, and he'll say, hey, Dave will get in touch with you. I don't call department heads. I don't call staff. I don't email them. Any kind of statement I made in the forum or ever about talking with staff, that is always the staff that I can and am able to talk with, such as the city clerk, the city manager, or the assistant city manager. So just to clear up any kind of allegation or thought that I have some sort of wrongdoing as far as directing anybody other than the people that I'm able to do so. Also, the idea that I can't be an advocate
Point
for
of
housing.
order. He's speaking. Wait a minute, Councilman. He is speaking. He gave you the respect. You give him the respect. No more outbursts, please. Councilman Palmer.
Also, the idea that a council person can't advocate for housing demolition and code enforcement is preposterous. I don't care how many houses a person owns or what street they drive on or where they ride their bicycle. Housing affects everybody, and there's no conflict of interest to do what's best for the community. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilman Palmer. Councilwoman Robinette.
Thank you, Mayor. I apologize. I have a little chest cold, so I'm not contagious, but yeah, I'm very deep speaking. So I would like to say that I was pleasantly surprised with the Proud event and the forum. The turnout was really good. I think, there were some missteps that could have been nailed out beforehand, but I think the turnout was really good, and I appreciated that it was one topic that people got to show their knowledge about, or lack thereof. People got to speak about a specific topic, so it turned out very well to me that I wasn't expecting, so I want to thank those that put that on. I'd also like to congratulate the STEAM Academy Theater Department, who just put on a play this last weekend, and it was ridiculously funny. And the mayor sat next to me on Saturday and laughed right through the whole thing.
I actually heard you giggling in a video.
Yes.
But on blue jeans too.
Yeah, she wore blue jeans. But it was good to see the community come out. This is, STEAM High School has, it's STEM plus arts. And so it's fun to see these musical, this one wasn't particularly a musical, but the arts, Nick Kassoff's daughter was the head puppeteer, her puppet master. She did all the dragon costumes, and it was just really fun to see the community and their kids, and just be with everyone to have a good time. So, I think as things are getting heated, it is important that we realize that we're just in this community together. Like, we've been together for a long time. We've been through a lot. We're like, who knows what tornadoes are going to come this weekend. I'm knocking on wood so they don't. But we've been through a lot together, and I am really reaching out so that, we see the humanity in each other, not, it's not a label. We really do have good citizens in this community and people who care a lot. Some people care loudly, but we do have people that care, and that's what's important. So look out for your neighbors, check in on everyone, and have a great rest of the week. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you, Councilwoman Robinette. City Clerk Pittman,
No report.
City Attorney Ryan, City Manager.
I have one thing. I just want everyone to know that we met with MSD today to look at the sidewalks on Paul that they're riding their heavy equipment over, and also talking to them about repairs on Lee that they will be making. So, okay.
Thank you, City Manager. I just would like to say, I went to the play and I had a ball. She kills monsters, and your daughter is very autistic. She can draw. She's good.
She's good.
And I just want to say today, no, let me go back. On Monday morning, Alicia's had the kickoff to 314. And several mayors, we were there talking, and we was talking about going to see Mayor Diembo of Berkeley. That was 8:00 Monday morning. At 6:00, a family member texted me and said he was gone. The mayor of Berkeley is gone. So it's very important, like Councilman Williams said, you never know. You just never know. And it's always good to be kind to one another. In addition to that, we had the state of the county at UMSL, and County Executive Sam Page did a great job. Had an opportunity to do some business while I was there. And I just want to say this about John Hampton that I know of. He works just as hard as I do. And then one lady told me, well, Mary, you don't do anything. I said, come spend a day with me and you'll find out. She came, and by 9:00, she said she was ready to go home because I started at 7:00 in the morning. But John Hampton works just as hard as I do for this city. And this city is always, always, always on his heart and his mind. And whenever I go to a meeting, I'm always looking for the powers to be to make certain Ferguson gets its fair share. So I just want to say that about John Hampton, because at the meeting today, I cornered some people to get some things done here in Ferguson. Immediately called John, set the appointment, and they're gonna move forward. So please don't ever think we're not working. We all are working. I know when the economic development sales tax was put on a ballot, we all got out here and worked to get that 0.5% tax. When it was passed, Linda and I was the first person at DeCarlin telling him we want at least $100,000 of that economic development sales tax for demolition, and for every year, and she checks to make certain that it's there. So we do work. We may not get along all the time,
We're not supposed to.
but we do work for the betterment of this community. So David, you were the one that started it off with your heartfelt, and I wish we could do more of that. So at this time, I'm going to request a motion and a second to adjourn.
Still moved.
Second, Heather Robinette.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Ayes have it. See you in 2 weeks.
That's a new.
So what do you think? I love your plan.